Happy holidays, Reformers, and welcome back to Blood and Steel. Now, when we left off, we had defeated a couple of Vajir vassals, and since then, I travelled all the way down to Adirim and sold my prisoners there, and then made a quick stop-off in Khergit territory to recruit a couple more units for our upcoming engagements, as quite a few of you wanted us to encounter a couple more Vajir vassals, and I thought, well, why not? We may as well, considering we do only have, I believe it is 12 or 11 days until the Dark Hordes are released upon the land. So, let us make haste and take out our first vassal of the episode. I'm hoping I can take out a couple more, and so, let us do it. Maybe I can take this guy prisoner. However, that might not be a good idea considering, as I say, the forces of darkness will be approaching us shortly. Now, this fellow apparently has 123. No. Interesting. For some reason, I thought I saw on the troop screen that he had 123. Well, he does have an Aleph, so I am not very pleased about that at all, as you can see. I think we're pretty much just going to have to charge in here because, believe it or not, we're probably going to get taken out by one Aleph alone. So let us hope that that will, we'll be able to take him down before he's able to do any sufficient amount of damage. And I suppose I can only hope that our units use the terrain to their advantage. So let's get out our axe and do some damage, or let's let our horse kill everything by the looks of things. Yes, there we are. Okay. Nice two-handed kill there. And where is the Aleph? It's over this hill here, I believe. Maybe I can get some nice shots going here. Ooh, that went right over his head there. How unfortunate. There we are. Nice headshot. And maybe take out that guy too. Yes, there we are. Nice. Okay. Not bad. Oh, there is a cannoneer. And, oh yes, thank you to those of you who stated in the comments that some of our Khergit archers do actually gain cannons as their default weaponry, as you can see here. Look at those guys. They have the Nest of Bees cannon, I believe, which is also in my inventory. So thank you very much for letting me know about that. I was quite puzzled when I saw cannons firing off on our side. And come on. Oh my goodness, did I really do 32 damage to an Aleph? Have they changed that? It used to be you only were able to do 5 damage to them, but it appears they may have changed it. Not bad. Okay. We haven't actually fought an Aleph up close, at least I haven't. Maybe my units have in the past. And that makes me very sad indeed. Look at that. 13 deaths in our army right there. I am not entirely pleased with that at all, considering only 24 units this fellow had, so, we might have to be a little more cautious of the Aleph in future, but I don't know how you're supposed to be, considering they are very powerful and have a huge range as well. So, yes, we might have to be potentially a little more tactical, and oh my goodness, that steel shield. Look at that! Oh my goodness, does every shield in this mod have an incredible amount of resistance? Oh yes, it does. Okay. Well, I was unaware of that fact, so maybe we will be using a shield. However, I am using a two-handed, so probably not a good idea. However, we will be taking a couple of these pieces of loot to sell, and I think that will be fine. There we are. Okay. So there is a Nord vassal here. However, I don't believe I will be making any effort to aggress on him. And I think we'll probably be moving towards Rivercheg, perhaps, because I'm pretty sure we should be able to find a couple more vassals in the vicinity, or at least I hope so. And, oh, wait a minute, do you see that? Why are there so many vassals outside Beluga Castle? What is going on here? Ah, well, I can tell you one thing. Oh, I think it might be because of these Death Knight Raiders, but yes, as I was saying, I think I would have probably tried to go in on these fellows if Boyar Archer didn't have an Aleph. As you could see on the previous bout, an Aleph is quite, well, destructive, and I would be a little hesitant to try and fight a superior numbered force, I suppose you could say. Well, let's just take a look at how many units Rivercheg has. Yeah, okay, 11 and 82. Wonderful. Oh, Here we go. Okay, the Death Knight Raiders are actually going in against the Vaegirs. And what is actually going to happen here? I am waiting with bated breath here. Oh no. Oh, it appears... Wow, the Vaegirs are losing a huge amount of units. But it appears that the Death Knight Raiders will be taken down. How unfortunate. I would really have loved to have fought these fellows because they do have 264 prisoners in their army. So, their Aleph is still alive. That's why they were able to take them down. Oh no. And there's another one as well. Okay, it appears I will have to leave these fellows to their own business because it appears they are going to stick together for the most part. And I think what I will be doing now is cutting away until we have found another opponent. Okay, so I have found another opponent. This was actually about 1 minute after I cut away previously, and we are against a large tiger horde. Now, I'm not entirely happy with this. I did not engage them on purpose, so I think you can gather where this may be going. It would be rather painful if we were defeated by a bandit horde, but I am rather hopeful that because they don't have Alephs, we will be able to thwart their efforts. So let us get into a reasonable position, and let's just make sure we have our cannoneers in a great place so that they can do as much damage as possible, of course. And I've just realized that we are not necessarily in the greatest of places because, of course, the enemy has a height advantage on us. I could, in theory, charge all of our fellows up the hill there and attempt to get to the top of it before our opponents, but I think in the grand scheme of things, it might just be easier to scout ahead and let our enemies come to us. So I will be telling our horse archers and cavalry to follow me, as you could probably see there in the text log, and I will be hopefully scouting ahead and making sure that they don't have too many cavalry units. However, they have some archers by the looks of things. So I'm not entirely pleased with that, that is for sure. Now, I will attempt to pick a few off. Something tells me this is not a good idea, however. Probably my terrible accuracy, yes. Oh, my... okay. Well, I take that back, I suppose. My terrible accuracy is not too bad. So, yes. It appears they do have a couple of cavalry units, unless I am mistaking some of them for mine. Well, whatever the case may be, we will be heading down and hopefully bringing them into our trap. Now, for some reason... some of our units don't have horses. Well, they are definitely going to be dying. That is for sure. That is a little unfortunate, I must admit. Come on, let's just do as much damage as we can to Shavi. Oh yes, Shavi's actually doing a pretty reasonable job here. Hopefully she will not get taken out. And we will do what Khergits do best, and that is take out as many of these units as we can without taking too many losses. Of course, we haven't been too successful at that in the past. And I've just now realized how many units the enemy actually has fielded on this battle. Field, and yeah. Okay, well, let us hope that our cannoneers will... Yes, it appears they are. They're doing a reasonable job, and Deshavi is continuing to slaughter our enemies, which is very nice to see indeed. That is her third kill, I believe. Oh, and now she was taken out. No! Ah, that's a shame. Okay. Well, what can you do? Oh, I'm hitting their shields a lot. Oh, and a nice headshot right there. Okay, it appears what I will be needing to do now is charge in all of our units. And by all of our units, I mean, of course, our infantry, horse archers, and cavalry. Oh no, I'm stuck. Okay, there we are. That is much better. Come on. Take down these fellows. Oh yes, my horse is doing a lot of damage there. Oh, this might be a terrible mistake, but I'm hoping that our units will be able to prevail here. If we are not able to, then I will be incredibly disappointed. However, we will be getting a lot of renown for this. Or at least I can hope so, because as you saw at the beginning of the battle, we should, in theory, be awarded 50 renown for completing this. With a victory, of course. So, who knows? We might be lucky. Come on, let's do it. Ooh, I'm actually now thinking that choosing Khergit infantry is probably not a good idea. However, I did want to have an entirely Khergit-focused army, as that would more appropriately suit our character and what he is attempting to do. So, yes, maybe we'll switch it up a little bit, maybe get a couple of mercenary units in there. And, wow, we have actually advanced to level 24. Very nice indeed. And it appears that we might be okay. I'm rather pleased about that. And this fellow has a huge weapon. So, let's try to be a little careful of this fellow. Oh, there we are. I did some fleeting damage to him, and of course our horse wanted to get a bit of damage in there as well. Very nice of him indeed. And, oh, I was hoping I could do some damage this way, but... Oh, there we are. Nice. Getting past their shielding. And... Oh, yes, there we are. Oh, yeah, there we are. Very nice. Good. Okay, that was not bad horse archery right there. Not too bad at all. And it appears that we have attained victory in the face of certain defeat, even though the Rusky Soldats, I suppose, were mostly regular tier. So, yes. I'm rather proud of our units, nevertheless, and it appears that 33 enemies are now attempting to rout, as 20 of them have already done so. Oh my. Well, we took out 242 of them, and we lost 39. Ouch, that has gotta hurt. That is for sure. Thankfully, I am able to take out these Rocketeers without any effort whatsoever, because my axe is incredible. And if only I would... Oh, wow. Did you see that? Oh my goodness, we took a hit head-on right there from one of the Rocketeers. And there we are. I will be mopping up the rest of these fellows. Very nice XP, I must admit. And then I will let our units take care of the last fellow there. Okay. Oh, okay, so it seems that we do have to deal with a couple more. They are running in the opposite direction. Who is this? Really? They're just standing here. No! Oh, I turned my horse. That was wonderful. Missing a completely still target. That's just how I roll. Well, there we are. Very pleased with that victory indeed. And we will now be leaving? It appears as though we still have 3 enemies on the battlefield. For some reason our units were cheering. Oh, there we are. I think that might actually be the official victory chant right there. There is 1 still remaining. And there we are. He was finally taken down or routed. So there we go. 40 renown was our reward, 14 morale. We do really require a lot of renown to get a rather large force, the largest force that we could potentially field, so that we can be prepared for the Dark Hordes being unleashed upon the world. That will happen soon enough. So, let us now release some of these fellows, and we will be taking these elite guys, experts, and other elites. There we are. Very nice. And, ooh, that's not bad. Cataphract Scale, Rusky Lamella. Ooh. That's not a bad helmet either, I have to admit. Okay, well, I cannot take anything else. That is unfortunate. Yeah, those gloves aren't bad either. And that plate shield, I believe, is better than what I picked up. Yes, I believe it is. Well, there we are. It does have a very small size, however. So quite a few projectiles could probably pierce it, or get through it perhaps, so yes, that might not be the best idea to, I suppose, wear it. However, I will now be cutting away once again, and heading over to Dirim to sell. Oh my goodness, well, I thought I would cut away here so that you can see the absolute magnitude of how many dinars we are awarded there. 12,850 for those prisoners. Absolutely amazing. And I suppose now we will be selling the few pieces of loot that we acquired. Let's just make sure I don't sell anything that is useful. Okay, I think that is fine, and we'll sell one of those cannon ammunition, and whoa, 16,000? Okay, that is very nice indeed. And there we are now at Dirim, oh yes. So, I think what I will be doing is ending this episode off here, and next time on Blood and Steel, I will hopefully have recruited a couple more units, and that in mind, we might be wanting to go for, I don't know, but maybe something other than Khergit units, at least for our infantry slots, because as far as I can tell, these fellows do get outclassed quite a bit in combat. So for now, what we will be doing is, before we end this off, we are going to be leveling up some of our companions, and let's just see here. I think some two-handed weapons, why not? And Shavi, of course. She is very, very beastly indeed. We are going to be going for some more strength, more toughness, why not? And there we are. And then Jeremus, everyone seems to have leveled up. That is great. More strength 2. And now this is a little more difficult, I think. I think we'll go for combat training so that you can get a couple of critical hits, perhaps. That would be nice. And there we are. Okay, so now all we need to level up is Victor. And ooh, that's difficult, isn't it? Oh no. I think we'll go for Charisma. Even though we already have 3 in leadership, it would be really nice to get another point. So let's go for 12 in Charisma, or at least try to get 12 in Charisma. And I will increase my prisoner management, because why not? We are taking quite a few prisoners lately, and it would be rather nice to gain an exponential amount of dinars in the future. So let's level up our two-handed once, and there we are. So I thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.